glad to see that we have such a big group. I think this is one of the largest groups we've had this year, so it's pretty exciting, especially when over half are new hires.
Good bonus for that?
Talk to Jason. So, usually what I do is go around the room and everybody introduce themselves, but it's a pretty big class and I have a lot of stuff to go over. So we're not, hey, no comments from the sideline, Jared. So I am gonna bypass that, but I do know how many glass guys we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 glass guys. And then we've got Heavy Haul. Who are you with?
I'm Heavy Haul. Yes,
You are too? Okay, so we got 2 Heavy Haul, and then the rest are Reefer, Blackwell, right? We got 1, 2, 3, 4. Earl, I remember you. And 5.
You walked in,
One
you were drove,
dedicated
you used that
oversized.
camper?
Yeah, the Airstream? Was that you loading that up this morning when I was here the
We were
first time?
trying to load it up on my RGM, but it's too long, we couldn't fit it on there, so
Oh,
that was plan B, putting on that.
that was what I had asked Shana when I walked in. I'm like, who's camping out in the Airstream? And she's like, that's actually a load going out to Ohio or something, right? That's pretty cool. So,
Yes,
these Friday meetings are usually just an opportunity for us to give you some updated information on things that are happening in the company, in the industry as a whole, and for everybody to meet current faces, new faces, and then I'll let you guys have your weekend. So usually I will send an email out to the company asking if they have any topics that they'd like me to discuss. I actually got quite a bit of feedback this last time, so OTR and maintenance. This is probably gonna all kind of gear around the same topic. So CSA, maintenance issues, OTR. We are really pushing back on the drivers to take responsibility for your PMs and services. We were at one time leaving it up to drivers. Well, that wasn't working. So we need a little bit of teamwork and encouragement. So we send messages to the truck every Tuesday and Thursday, 1,000 miles prior to services being required. The trailer DOT, if you have a trailer and you're under a dispatch, Tuesdays and Thursdays, the maintenance record will go out for DOT 30 days prior to it being due. Now, a lot of the glass guys, it's hard for you because you're gonna be doing a lot of drop and hook. I know reefer, same way. So pre-trips are really gonna be super important for you to catch those. If for some reason, I can't express this enough, but if for some reason you pick up a trailer or I assign you a trailer that has an expired DOT or has maintenance issues that should have been addressed, let me know, because I will track down the other driver that had it before you. And I will have a conversation with them about maintenance and upkeep and not leaving their dirty laundry for somebody else to take care of. Same with reefer. Washouts, reefer fuel, services, all those things fall in the same category. And it's just, one, a common courtesy to the rest of the drivers. Oh, hello, Mr. Underwood, thank you for joining us. And then dispatch now is involved. So on the reports that we print out, if you have maintenance or PMs coming due, we see it on our report. This is also looping in dispatch to allow us to have enough time either before you load or after you load to get those done. So it is extremely, it's all become a group effort. So, expired services should technically be caught on your pre-trip. So, I know it sounds like common sense, but as we all get busier and we are getting more miles and doing more loads, we still have to remember the basics, so don't forget that. Any questions on those? I will allow for questions. No? All right. Claims department asked me to speak about a couple items. We are having a high volume of heavy haul claims for minor scratches and dents on cargo. She asked me to remind you guys to use padding and watch out for possible problematic cargo areas where it could eventually rub in transit. Also to cover windshields and any glass, because now we're into summer, construction is heavier, there's gonna be loose gravel, so they're asking that you take extra precaution in making sure those are covered up. And it goes for glass drivers being more alert when passing through construction zones. 3 months, I've had 3 entire load losses due to hard braking. Not scanning the road in front of you, following too close in construction zones. We gotta also remember that it's summertime, school's out, there's gonna be more foot traffic, kids. So we just really need to make sure that we're keeping the proper safe distance and, like I said, just scanning the road in front of you. All 3 of those incidents happened because they were not paying attention to the vehicles in front of them. On the dash cam footage, you could clearly see braking prior to and signals turning yellow then red. And then all of a sudden, a ton of glass. So, and she said if you have any questions, you can always call her, but those are all pretty self-explanatory. Just being mindful, taking your time, and being the safe and professional drivers that we know you are. So, dispatch. So, it seems like more and more people do not like to leave voicemails. So, as my guys know, there's only 3 people on my staff, and we have the 2nd largest fleet in the company. So it is really important with only 3 people managing the phones that if you call, please leave a voicemail. Let us know what you need so that we can get you that answer and call you back and minimize the potential of having back and forth conversations. If you prefer to send an email, I know that there are a lot of dispatchers, Heady Hall, Blackwell, Glass, that don't mind communication via email. The Glass team has 1 group email, so when you send 1 communication, it goes to all of us, so there's never a missed opportunity for somebody to get back to you as well. Please do not call someone's direct line over and over and over again, thinking that you're going to get a different result. That person may be off for the day. So if you can't get somebody, call switchboard. Ask them to give you to somebody in Glass. The same with the other divisions as well. But like I said, voicemails, and don't just say, hey, call me back. You know, let us know what you need so that we can get that information for you. Glass fleet. So in your guys' securement, you have plastic and cardboard that you use. The plastic is super expensive and we pay for that. It is not something provided by the shipper. So we ask that you recycle the securement supplies that you use. If you unload in LA and you're heading back to Fresno to get another load, put the plastic in the trailer in the equipment box. You know, keep your cardboard corner protectors. It's about $3,000 a pallet, and a pallet does not last us very long when we only get we can set up about 20 trailers with 1 box. And if you guys throw all that away, then you know, we're having to cut new and it's just pretty wasteful. So we can get quite a few loads out of 1 set of plastic. So just recycle your glass securement stuff. Anybody? Nothing? Okay. So in July, starting next Friday, we are doing a little contest for clean inspections. There is the whole name, Operation Safe Driver Week is July 10th through the 16th. So it's a blitz where they will be focusing on not only commercial vehicles, but 4-wheelers as well. They're gonna be focusing on speeding, seatbelt use, distracted driving, improper lane changes. So what we've decided in the safety committee is we have $500. We are gonna have 2 drawings, 1 for Blackwell and 1 for combined, so it's fair for everybody. Any clean inspection that you get in the month of July, you'll get 1 free entry into the drawing. Any clean inspection that you get in the middle of the blitz, you'll get 2 entries into the drawing. And then after the month of July, we will draw for 1 Blackwell and 1 combined driver for $250. So, encouragement for you guys to have clean inspections. I mean, I know some guys like Britton Love, he begs for an inspection and nobody gives it to him. But then right now with our safety ratings, we're getting pulled in at pretty much all inspection scales. So there's potential for you to get some pretty good inspections, especially the guys going through trainers. If you guys don't get clean inspections when you're with your coaches, I wanna know about it, cause then we have a different conversation to have with coaches. So, just saying. And in California, you guys are probably gonna get pulled in all the time, just so you know. Just, yeah, full disclosure, that's gonna happen. So last year during this blitz, just to give you an idea of the top citations for commercial vehicles, they issued 1,690 speeding tickets in a week for commercial vehicles. Failure to use seatbelts, there was 1,225 citations issued. Failure to obey traffic control devices was 522. Texting, there was 344. So it's crazy to me that there were 344 citations given out for texting and using a handheld device, and there was only 112 improper lane changes. I had 344 citations for texting and using a phone. Yeah, right. So we just want you guys to all be careful and be mindful of it going into that blitz. You know, we want it to be something in the forefront of your brain every day, but especially during that.
One state to really watch out for during the blitzes is Tennessee. Because Tennessee actually has an 18-wheeler that they confiscated quite a few years ago. And they painted it to match the color of their vehicles.
Oh,
And
well,
it
that's
was clearly
nice.
marked, they're not trying to hide it.
Huh,
They watched it. One, they're watching to see what four-wheelers do to the trucks.
right,
And they're watching to see if there's dumbass drivers out there texting.
right.
Or holding that phone up to their ear talking, or like this on the speakerphone while they're driving.
Well, you know, and that's the other thing too. So, you know, Melissa Dockery was on her way up to a safety convention, and she called me, and she goes, "Hey, who's in truck blah blah blah?" And I was like, "Well, that's one of my guys." And she goes, "Well, I was behind him. He was kind of swerving over a fog line. He was coming back." She goes, "Same rate of speed, just cruising along." She goes, "And I pass him, and he's looking down at his phone driving." And I call him and I said, "When's your birthday?" He goes, "Well, next month." And I'm like, "Do I need to get you a Bluetooth?" I'm like, "What are you doing right now on your phone?" And he was like, and I was like, "Listen." Because I was just changing my song on my phone. I was like, "Okay, let's tell the officer that pulls you over that you were just looking for a new song to listen to." So, I mean, everybody sees it and everybody is aware of what should happen and what they do see, and it just gives you guys a bad name if that's what
That's the reason
we're
why
doing.
when I'm in Oregon, I definitely mind my P's and Q's everywhere, but when I'm in the state of Oregon, anywhere around this town, I really pay attention to what I go, because you never know who
Oh, yeah.
is gonna see you out there.
Well, you know how many times Mike Card's called me when he's been over the road about drivers running with their racks up, or, you know, driver on the side of the road. Why is he sleeping on the side of the road? So,
That's just poor management of time.
I know. Thank you, Sam. So anyways, overall, there was 11,000 speeding tickets issued last year for four-wheelers and commercial vehicles. So those are the kind of numbers that, you know, obviously they're not wanting to hand out those citations, but they're definitely keeping an eye to make sure everybody's safe on the road. So, so that is what we're doing for the month of July for the safety committee as an incentive for those clean inspections. And you guys get $50 already for every clean inspection. It used to be $10. And I was like, it's just $10. I'm not gonna send it in. But then we upped it to 50, and we saw those numbers, you know, increase on the inspections that were being cleaned. So we're like, oh, okay, a little bit of monetary incentive goes a long way. But I mean, with as many times as we're getting pulled in right now, that's a pretty good chunk of change as long as you guys are all passing them. So you can have making a couple extra $100 a month right now.
And if you send them in, you gotta call driver services and tell them, so that they can get it out on transfer.
Oh, you have to call them?
Yes, ma'am, so they can be watching for it, and then it goes to y'all, to whoever division, and then, you also get a copy of it.
Huh,
I'm used to doing that, I'm used to calling driver services.
Right.
And then they look out for it on TransFlow, and then they get a copy of it, look over it, and then I get a call back saying, "Thank you for a clean service."
okay. Well, and you know, I wonder if that's something they implemented because driver services is running on a pretty tight crew right now. So to ensure that they don't miss it, that phone call notification might be just that check and balance
Yep.
until they get more staff to where they can allocate the inspections to one person. So, but that's good to know. I'll let the glass drivers know, because there's been a few of them that have told me, "Hey, I sent this in, but I never saw anything for it." It's probably because they didn't know they needed to call and follow up on it.
Yeah,
So, okay.
follow up on it. And
Cool.
then they'll send it to payroll, and then you get your bonus.
Perfect. Alright. So CSA scores. Just a quick update on that. So currently combined is over the threshold in hours of service and vehicle maintenance still. We are at 86 and 85% in those. Does everybody know what's included in the hours or the CSA categories?
Everything from bumper to bumper, I know that.
Yeah, so in the hours of
Yeah, and you.
service, it's not maintaining your, record of duty status and exceeding your hours of service for the most part. Vehicle maintenance is everything from lights, brakes, required services, DOT. We have decreased in our driver fitness category. We've actually gone from 75%, which is the threshold, down to 73. A lot of that has to do with the fact that the lady in compliance now, that I'm sure she will reach out and talk to you all at some point in your time with us. She is on top of running all of the reports to show drivers running with med certs that are expired, CDLs and licenses that are expired. She's calling and she's putting drivers out of service. I mean, she's not joking around. I've had more drivers put out of service in the last 30 days than I think I have in the last 4 years.
Let's see.
Because they didn't walk their certificate into the local DMV and make sure that it gets updated on their motor vehicle report, and their driving report.
It's supposed to be the doctor, wherever you get your DOT physical.
No, not all like that.
Not all,
Well, and, you know, I can see it, I know some companies do it for the drivers.
yes,
And I know that some companies don't. It's the driver's responsibility to make sure that your license and everything that goes with it is updated with the DMV.
Let's see, ultimately, it is the driver's responsibility.
Yes.
Cause that's your livelihood, your license.
Exactly. Now, if for some reason it's a crappy DMV, they have bad hours, it doesn't happen, and you can't make it happen, we don't mind helping. But we gotta know that you need us to do it, so that we take care of it and everything gets updated and we don't have to put you out of service.
You gotta fax it into her anyway.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Say, hey, can you go ahead just to make sure?
But some of the DMVs need the long form.
Yes.
And we do not require the long form for updated ones.
Actually, yes. Whenever I just renewed mine, and she had me fax everything to her.
Did she send it to the DMV for you?
No, I did it to the DMV, I
Oh.
took it to the DMV. At
That's
home.
interesting, cause I was told that we only collect the short form, we don't do long form except on your initial hire.
California only takes long.
California only does long form.
Oh, that was the one that I just had a driver put out of
And
service.
then in some states, you can't like New Mexico, you can't email, the driver has to literally.
Florida's that same way, you gotta walk it in.
Oh, no, I emailed mine in Florida.
You did?
I have a license in Florida, yeah.
So my driver was put out of service in Florida, and he had to walk in, and then, the guy that just got
I need to
put out
double
of
check with her
service.
because it went through months ago.
Oh, yeah, well, I don't know, I'd check, I don't trust anybody with that kind of stuff.
I know in
But-
Colorado, I can walk it into the DMV and they take their copies and, let's say Colorado doesn't take the long form.
Mm.
They just take the short form.
Yep.
I need to find out now, because
But we still
I
have
always
to
have
carry
notes.
our long form.
Yeah, you still have to carry everything in the truck.
In the
Right. So that's part of the reason why our driver fitness score has gone down. However, our crash indicator has gone from 33% to 48%. It's huge, and I do have to say that that is a percentage that incorporates any DOT reportable crash. So it could be something that maybe we have yet to be found not at fault for, but that percentage does go up because we had to report it. So, we're gonna be working through that as well. And, Blackwell, they're always so good. They are only over the threshold in one, and it's hours of service, they're at 78% right now. But that does incorporate a inspection recommendation for checkpoints, so we're all on inspection right now. This now leads me to the elephant in the room for most people, which is the Infinity Learning Management System that we just rolled out this week. There has been churn, obviously, like there is with anything new within a company. One was that people were having a hard time downloading the app. So, I have to tell you, what are you guys laughing at?
Cause it does take forever.
Well, it's interesting that you say that, and then I found out that it was operator error when I failed to be able to register on mine, and I figured out what I did wrong. So, this fun little section right here, where you type in the company code,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, COMO 730, and it says registration failed, and I was like, I followed all the directions. Well, that is not an O, that is a 0.
Exactly.
Yeah, figured that one out, so then I put my glasses on, and I was like, okay, Chris, here we go. So huh?
You see them?
Yeah, well, this close to me, I should have known. So anyways, that might be something that people have had an issue with, I don't know. But I just figured I'd throw that out there. You know, the biggest thing for this, I wanted to explain to everybody why we are currently at this point. This isn't training, it is a safety and compliance educational tool. We, as a company, based on the frequency and the severity of the accidents that we have had within a 12-month calendar year, our insurance company increased our premium by 18%. So 18% for what we were paying is $250,000. So our insurance premiums now every calendar year is $1.6 million a year because of the severity and frequency of our accidents. So, that being said, our insurance company is strongly encouraging that we do ongoing educational safety, compliance, anything that we can do to give back to the fleet to show that we're proactively continuing to educate our drivers. So then, of course, you know, I'm always on the Combined Driver Facebook page. I'm not doing it if I don't get paid. I'm like, really? I mean, it's 10 minutes out of your life. Most of y'all spend more than 10 minutes going to the bathroom before you leave the house in the morning, and instead of reading the Reader's Digest, you could do a 10-minute video on Infinity. That's one way to do it.
Well, then you gotta spend that
Or-
10 minutes doing TikTok while you're sitting.
Or, you know, you could go on duty not driving for 10 minutes. We're paying you.
Do it on your 30-minute break.
Right. So, that whole request is a moot point. In addition to that, you know, we as a company give you a 4-cent performance bonus. You know, that performance bonus is to encourage you guys. It's not because we wanna give you something to take away. We give it to you to encourage you to be a professional and safe driver that we know you are and represent the company the way we would expect. But that is your skin in the game if you're going to go down a negligent path in CSA scores and accidents and distracted driving. So, you know, you can't really look at it that way. The other thing is, I bet corporate doesn't have to do it. Well, fun fact, we're doing it. And I'm pretty sure that your guys' first video is a lot better than the video we're gonna have to do for our first one on sexual harassment. So,
Chris, are you misbehaving again?
Jared, I told Mike not to say anything, that it was me. But, no, Jared and I are gonna come up with our own company sexual harassment video,
I don't know
like
how-
John Travolta style, you know.
And let
It's
me
gonna be
get
good.
Gotta do a Pulp Fiction style.
Yeah. So, anyways, the reason why I bring that up is because this isn't just for the drivers.
No.
You know, this is, I'm gonna have my girls do 2 videos a month. We're gonna do the corporate assigned videos, but I also want to continue to educate them on what it is that you guys are up against when you're out there over the road every day. I want them to be familiar with adjusting brakes and tire tread fitness, you know, the deck, all the stuff.
Send them to a multi-axle driver. They will not wanna do that with us at first.
No.
So, but you know, it's just continued education, and I think it's invaluable, especially when, you know, you've got a bunch of dispatchers sitting on the other end of the phone at a desk telling you, oh, back in door 17, you know, just go or whip around the corner. Because they haven't ever lived it, they haven't seen it, and they haven't experienced it. And so, the respect that they gain for what it is that you guys do every day is something that I think is a continued ongoing education that needs to happen. So that's what my girls are doing. They didn't know about it until this, so I hope they're watching because
I
surprise.
talked to Melissa about it this morning.
Oh,
and
did you?
She made a very valid point. I've been out here on the road for couple of us been up, no tell how long we've all been on the road. I've been out here for 19 years. And I'm not gonna sit here and blow smoke up anybody's butt that's just coming into this industry. You do get complacent about here doing things.
It's
Especially when
human
you're pulling
nature.
the box.
Absolutely.
You get complacent pulling the box.
Absolutely.
But the old guys still need to have that refresher course type situation every once in a while, especially since they rolled out the CVSA score crap
So,
years ago.
hence my next bullet point. Thank you for leading right into that. The other comment was, well, I did it and I didn't learn anything. So here's my thing with that. I'm glad that maybe he didn't really learn anything, because that means that it's just a refresher. That driver already knew the course and the education that was on that video. Hopefully, there will be a video that he won't know everything on, and he will have some training and learning and education. So, you know, there are going to be videos that you're like, oh yeah, that's kind of first grade stuff. But then at the same time, maybe you don't see that first grade video for 6 years, and then next thing you know, you get popped for a violation on that same exact video because you just whipped right through it and you didn't refresh, you didn't retain it.
Right back to kindergarten.
What?
Right back to kindergarten.
Right, there you go. I'm demoting you, kindergarten, give me your certificate. So we just, and this is a quote from one of my favorite people, Melissa Dockery. We need all the employees to be willing to not be part of the continuing problem and start helping be part of the solution. Quote unquote, Melissa Dockery.
So that takes all the fun out of it.
I understand. But like I
No,
said,
she's right.
it literally takes 10 minutes, it's once a month, and I think it's gonna be a huge benefit. And like I said, it's going to show that we are continuing to try and improve, you know, what we do over the road and prove that we're a safe carrier. So, any questions on Infinity or anything like that? No? Okay,
Question.
yes,
Their education is learning the truth in that particular instance, okay? But a lot of, I'm not saying all drivers, don't apply what we call common sense, and that basically wisdom. Wisdom is knowing how to take that truth and implement to apply it. So my question is, when you address the points that in safety that you want, right, in that, have a pop quiz saying, okay, this is what we want you to know, blah, 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 blah. The question you ask now is, how do you apply the application? Because if you can't apply it, you don't have the wisdom to connect the dots.
right, because you're not doing hands-on, you're reading, and if you haven't experienced, you wouldn't know how to apply it. Now, here's a question for you, because the corporate employees, we've all downloaded it, and we all have our numbers to do all the stuff, but they've yet to assign our first training video. So my understanding is there's a small video, and then there's like a series of 4 questions. So are those questions just referring to that small video that you just viewed? Okay, so that might be something, that's a really good suggestion, because all of you are going to do the same video, education video every month. So maybe a follow-up of something like that, Facebook from the safety committee, or something could be applied, and maybe just keep that continued conversation on that topic for the month, fresh. So that might be something we could do. I'll have to talk to Melissa and see if we can put something together.
The reason why the emphasis is, it's not just the right answer, it's the right answer in the context of smart money. Because when you focus on truth, do you understand? Your attention, where your attention goes, time and attention, you get paid. But if you're not focusing on the element of truth, what you're focusing at, do you understand what I'm saying? You miss the boat, and you're not gonna get paid for being idle.
Well, I don't wanna miss the boat. Nobody wants to miss the boat.
I do.
So, but no, that's some really good feedback and input, so I'll definitely bring that up to her. And I know that later on, when she has nothing else better to do, she's gonna be watching this, so. Do we do it after the fact too, or is it only live release?
You can watch it after the fact too.
Oh, you can, okay, I was just curious. Then, of course, I'd also like to remind everybody about the sign-on bonus that Combined Transport has for glass drivers. So, any new drivers coming to the company for glass, or any existing Blackwell drivers that would like to try their hand at something else and would like to transition to the glass fleet. It is $4,800 sign-on bonus for an incentive for longevity. It's spread over 12 months from your transition date. So $200 pay period for 12 months. So, if you wanna come back to glass, Sam, I got your back.
I knew it was coming.
Hey, can I get the $4,800 and then go back to multi-ed?
No. So, and that, and then, you know, the referral bonus, we're constantly talking about, reminding everybody, you guys are our best form of advertisement out there over the road, and just make sure that if you have anybody that you refer, that you give your name to them, so that they can let whoever they get on the, recruiters, department, the right referral. So, Luis, is there any questions?
One from Jack Mickley.
I knew he'd participate. What has he got? He's sitting at
Says,
home with time off right now.
He says, "Hey Chris, will we be getting bonus pay for going into New York City and the borough?"
Yeah, tell him I'll give him a bonus.
What part of the borough?
I'll
Say
give him
what though?
He just said the boroughs.
Yeah. You gotta pick your word wisely with Jack.
She didn't say what.
How long is this trailer? Is there any off?
45. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, all our trailers are 45
I'm from the
feet.
boroughs in New York, so there's a
Yeah.
lot of,
So we've got a list of what we consider to be the boroughs. And I know it's hard to get in and out of there with a loaded trailer, so I don't have a problem, you know, throwing our drivers a little bit of extra for the headache that they've got going out there.
Where was that when I was on glass?
You didn't ask.
You didn't offer either.
Yeah, I wasn't really in a position to offer. I was just like, go here, go there.
and if he goes to the boroughs, he wants to go at night, late at night, when there's no traffic.
Yeah, I've had a bunch of drivers send me some pretty amazing photos of what they've been up against, going in and out of there and all this stuff.
Between midnight and 4 is the best time.
Wow, thanks, sir.
Or 11 and
Jeez.
4 at
Oh,
night.
thank you. That's crazy. Any other questions? No? Anybody else have anything to contribute or say? Or yes,
Is there any way that they can implement, like, vocabulary, if you didn't know, not just slang, for each division, whether it's heavy haul or whether it's, flatbed or it's glass? Because even if you're not familiar with the vernacular, when you step in there, it's a foreign language, okay?
Right.
So the point is, you necessarily don't print all the answers to the quizzes or anything like that, but if you, like, aggregate it, I mean, aggregated sounds like, disruption, but actually it means summary of the whole thing. So I'm just saying, an extra pop quiz for your information, if you are considering the future, increase your vocabulary, because knowledge is power, okay? And it makes you ask an intelligent question. It'd be nice that was on the side. Unfortunately, we don't have a home study version of reference material to make you more proficient
Right.
in
Well-
asking or being specific.
I think that's a good idea as well, but I do have to say, we are going to have to tread very lightly as we implement new things, because, you know, I remember when we requested that everybody have a smartphone. Okay, well, there's a few of my drivers that only had flip phones. And he's like, you want me to get a what? And I don't know how many drivers I spent 20-30 minutes in my office just showing them how to get to their photos. So, that being said, as time progresses, obviously, everybody's gotta change with the times, and we're trying to all conform and be uniform across the fleet. But I think that this learning management system is going to be a pretty big pill to swallow for the entire fleet, and knowing that that's an expectation that we're now implementing. So I think that, you know, we'll have to tread pretty lightly on, yes, sir.
Can not cut you off, I'm gonna answer that. Can a person, do you have someone to do a cartoon strip, like a storyboard, miniature storyboards for each?
Are you an artist?
Come on.
Yes, I am.
Then you're signed up.
No, I'm serious. You know, no,
Well,
really.
you know, now I'm afraid that I should have gone around and done introductions. Who might you be?
My name is Ron Parker, and
Oh, I
Sebastian,
heard about
Mr.
you.
Sexy, referred me.
Who?
There's only one big sexy here,
Joe Shaw?
Joe Shaw.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Okay, he's the one.
And you're going to reefer, right?
I know, I'm.
Cause I can't handle two big sexies on
No,
my plate.
I'm his flea by comparison. No, I came from Blackwell, and from Blackwell, I went over to the Dream Team, which is, Walmart.
Oh,
And now I'm on-
gotcha.
Now I'm on the, what do you call it, wide load, which is.
Yeah.
Floor thing.
Okay.
And I wish that the attributes of your dispatchers was a virus for Blackwell site.
Well, I appreciate that, thank you very much. For the small group that I have, I'm biased, but I think I've got a pretty good dynamic in my team, and they communicate well, and, they have their faults at times because of how busy we get, but, yes,
You
sir.
guys are elite,
Oh, thank you,
bar none.
I appreciate that.
No, I'm not trying to flatter you or.
No, we appreciate the recognition, because that does mean a lot, and it goes a long way for the girls too, especially after weeks like this week, so, there's weeks that are trying, and, I've got Amanda Parker back, she's handling West Coast, and April's handling East Coast, I've got Tana doing sales support, and
Who's
they
handling
got.
the middle?
Huh?
Who's handling the middle?
Well, April handles Midwest, East Coast, so West Coast is this little area over here.
It's like a merge.
Yeah.
Big old fan.
There's not even, PPG doesn't even, well, it's not even PPG anymore, they don't even have a glass plant in, Illinois anymore, do they?
No, it's called Fuyao Glass.
Yeah.
They shut it down originally just to do automotive glass for PPG, and
Like they did
then
in Tulsa.
they shut that down and Fuyao purchased it. Same facility, same everything, just a different company, Fuyao.
Hey, Fuyang.
Yeah, well, and it's a nice facility, I went out there and visited with them a little bit, we did some freight for them.
Now I'm really telling my age, how long I've been here.
Well, if you guys don't have any other questions, like I said, I've got these payroll calendars, if anybody wants one. If you think of something after the fact, you can give myself or Melissa Dockery a call, shoot us an email, and, don't forget to do your Infinity video if you have not already done
I have
it.
one.
Yes,
I know, some of you are going out with trainers and all that, but after the fact, to help with wait time, getting your truck or trailer worked on, if you're switching trailers all the time, pick up lights, pick up fuses.
have a few
And-
things on hand.
And have a few things on hand,
That's
because
unheard of.
actually, DOT will ask you if you got extra lights,
Oh,
if you got extra fuses, and depends on what kind of mood they in, they can write you up for that. And it helps with the cost for the
Mm.
company and your guys' wait time. And it's an easy fix, changing lights out or replacing fuses. And it'd be less stress for for the driver services, cause they're such short staff. Cause they'll ask you, can't you change it?
yeah, well,
You get that guy, dude.
it is very interesting how many people come to us that have
And keep tools on,
Zero.
keep basic tools on.
basic maintenance abilities.
Yeah,
I mean,
do some of the maintenance.
mud flap, come on, you got tools.
I do that, I change my
Right.
flaps all the time on my own.
And not only does it save the company money, it saves the shop time when they're in here. I mean, don't ask to be put on schedule to get a mud flap fixed. If you need help, I'll come down
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit in a TA or Petro parking lot for 11 damn hours.
for a month.
If I need
Or
mud
or
flaps.
to see if the light works or not, whenever all you gotta do is go buy a new light,
Right.
put the old one out, put the new in, if it ain't light still don't work, change the plug, boom, there you go, down the road you go.
Yeah. I carry extra mud flaps and I change them.
Well, I appreciate everybody and your contribution to the meeting today. Don't forget, it's gonna be hot, be safe, hydrate,